Hello and welcome back to the Knit Guru, and I'm Juanita. You will be sitting here thinking, this is not the usual garden, this is not the usual location. These walls are very beige. Or are they cream greyish? Who knows? Either way, this is not my coffee cup. It's tiny. It's not bad coffee though. I'm staying in Wellington, which means one of two things. Shakespeare or something else to do with the performing arts, but it's Shakespeare. It also means that I'm going to go to Daiso. I went to Daiso and I bought this bag. I bought this bag of stuff because I thought there's a challenge in here. It's a challenge that no one's asked for. But I'll tell you what I bought from Daiso and what we're going to do. Now, Daiso it's a discount store, but everything's Japanese. So in New Zealand, it's like everything is either $3 or $3.50. I can't quite work out which, unless it's marked differently. However, it took me until about 15 minutes ago to work that out. I love Daiso. However, I found this. I was not expecting to find anything like this anywhere. This is a 2-pack of bag handles. Now, these bag handles, I saw them maybe a week ago, and I was like, oh, that's cool, I should get those. But I didn't get them because I didn't have room in my bag. Oh, I'm dying from being in the city. I didn't have room in my bag, so I didn't buy them. And then today I went into Daiso and I couldn't remember why I was going in there. I just knew that I saw something the other day that was too big to fit in my bag. And I couldn't remember what it was. And then I remembered, so I had to go back to Daiso after walking around it in the morning and then be like, I can't remember. Anyway, it's bag handles. So they had these in cream, brown, and I think red. And I have got here a 2-pack of bag handle. These are handbag handle cotton, 50 centimetre. I thought, I'm going to make a bag using only things from Daiso. I got this. And then I got this. Well, I found this. To be fair, they did have other colours, and they did have cotton, and cotton probably would be better than this acrylic, but I didn't want to make anything brown. I wanted to use these blue handles. So I had blue handles, so I thought I've got to match it with a blue yarn. They had this blue yarn. They only had 2 balls of it. It's an 80-gram ball of knitting yarn. This knitting yarn does have a picture of a bag on it. So, you know, it's clearly fine. It may die unevenness may incur. That's literally what it's for, manufacturing process. As the product is a space-dyed yarn, depending on the ball, there may be instances where the colour and pattern appear differently. Yep, knots may be observed as a result of the production process. That time process is spelt correct. Do not use this product for purposes other than its intended purposes. It's made in China. However, they had 2 of them, so I bought them. It is 100% acrylic, I believe. I mean, I'm sure I read that somewhere. I'm sure I read that it's 100% acrylic. There is a picture of a bag, so as far as I'm concerned, that's its intended purposes. There are that many S's. So I got 2 of these. Then I thought, if I make a bag with 2 sides and sew them together, or am I going to make a bag with like a base and then up and then something and then handles? So I thought what I'll end up doing is I will need more than 1 ball of yarn, so I've got 2. This yarn recommended an 8mm crochet hook. Now I do know that I probably have an 8mm crochet hook, but I also may not have an 8mm crochet hook. So I've bought this bad boy. It's an 8mm crochet hook. So far you can see I'm like one of those dollar store girlies using everything from the same store. But mostly I was just making sure I had an 8mm because I don't know. And then I came up with a plan because I found these. They're slightly cat-shaped loop ends. So I thought I need a drawstring, but how do I do a drawstring and a handle? So what I'm thinking is I could make a bag that, like this bag, has some sort of shape. But then this top hole, I could have it come up, do a row around here, of front loop only, so I've got a back loop only, and then if I've got a back loop only, I can make it like drawstring. Then it can be a drawstring with a handle or something. So I thought if I get this blue yarn here, they only had one of this. It's not quite the same colorway as this one here. There's definitely a difference, but it's all blue. I could do sides and then come in for the gathering in portion. And my gathering in portion can have little cats on it, and that'll be cute. What else did I find? I don't know if I'm going to use these in this project, but I have this bag tape. I bought it because it's a pastel rainbow. I'm not turning down a pastel rainbow. I also picked up this bag chain, mostly because it was there. Chain strap for a bag. I figure I'm going to use that at some point. I also got one in gold. I also picked up these lame decorated strap strings in 6 colours. Why did I get these? I got these because I found these. I could not decide what colour because there is not a blue one in here. There's a purpley colour and another purpley colour, so I could read one of them as blue. But there's pink, a purpley colour, green, a red colour, gross, red, a purpley colour and yellow. And they had these in 3 colours. So I got all 3 colours because I'm sure I'm going to use them at some point. So looking at them now, teal is probably an option that's out. But I'm going to make some sort of dangler to hang off my bag. And it could be pink and it could be yellow. I don't really know. But I got those because I thought they're bag accessories. So what is this video? We are going to make a bag because I found bag straps at Daiso. And we're going to do it using Daiso products. Yeah, I thought it sounded like a great idea. Now, let's get to it. Although, let's probably face it, let's cut to a point where I'm not about to go out to dinner and then sleep. So probably the rest of this isn't going to be filmed in Wellington at all. It's going to be filmed back at home. And if you're sitting here thinking, this is a really odd perspective on the room, it's making it look not square. This is not a square room. Yeah, it's... There are no 90 degree angles in this room, I don't think. It's quite triangular. So finding a spot that doesn't look completely odd to sit, that's a bit out that way to a window, and that's more triangle. But it's a nice room, it's a lovely hotel, and I'm looking forward to eating some lovely food downstairs in the restaurant very shortly. Let's get working.
To the city streets, we began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine.
Right, so I've made this. It's just a chain of 40, and then in each corner I've got three stitches in each corner bit, and then I've just been marking the middle of those 3 stitches so that I know where the corner is, and I've just gone out for however many rows. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, I think. So I think it looks proportional. There's the cat. Cat does not get a vote. You may also notice that I'm on a different hook, mostly because it turns out that I can't read. That when I looked at the yarn in the shop, it said 7 or 8, I think. But then in brackets, it clearly said 4 to 4.5 millimeter. And not like a great big giant hook. So feeling like a bit of an idiot this morning, but at least I've got a 4.5 millimeter hook. Now I've just got to work out what I'm going to do with the sides, whether or not I'm going to build the sides on this, or whether or not I'll do like a single crochet around the edge to hold it on. I'm kind of tempted to do a single crochet around the edge to hold it on, simply so that it's got a little bit more structure, because I'd like it to be able to stand upright on its own. But we shall see.
We wanna we shout from the top, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two.
Alright, here we are on the crocheted bag project, and other than the fact that I have just clearly sat it in a puddle, and I'll get to some of my thoughts around this in just a moment, we're up to the last colour change. So what I have done is that one of these rows here of single crochet, was it a single crochet or was it a half double crochet? No, it was a half double crochet row in the blue. I have done in the front loop only. Now my reasoning for that is that that leaves this row here that I can come into. And what I'm planning on doing with this blue yarn from the bottom is crocheting a top and then putting some sort of either closure or drawstring, mostly because I found the drawstring ends when I went to Daiso as well, you might remember. So something that's going to allow me to close the top somewhat. In my head it worked much better as an idea when I was making this a round bag. I might have to rethink this. Is this actually going to work? Or am I deluding myself? I might actually be deluding myself, but we'll see what happens. If nothing else, I might be able to just bring in something to give it some structure. The other thing that I would like to do, if there's enough blue yarn, is to put a row of single crochets up the corners. And my reasoning for doing this is that I would like it to be quite stable and hold its rectangular shape. I thought about putting in some dowel and crocheting over the dowel, but then I realized I don't feel like doing that. I do feel like this is twisted, and I've gone out of my way to try and not twist it by marking the edges and keeping it square. But if I crochet up the sides in those points where I've got that stitch coming up, I'm hoping that I'll be able to then shape and block it to be a very square rectangle. Now I'm thinking there's a couple of things that I can attempt to do. I'm thinking what I might do is get some spray starch and see if I can give it some more structure with some starch. And the other thing I'm thinking is I saw a video on YouTube Shorts the other day of somebody who had sprayed with like a silicone sealant spray their crochet so that it repelled water. I thought that's a good idea as well, so I might do that. So there might be a trip to Mitre 10 to get some silicone spray, and I can probably get spray starch from the local supermarket. We shall see. Anyway, so all that's really got left to do is to finish this in black, and I'll have the most of it done to stitch on the handles and then figure out my inside scenario, and then my bag should be complete.
Hearts
All right, so where are we up to in this bag project? Well, I've taken my Crochet Society box, still a video I haven't finished in over a year, and I've got spray starch and I've got handles. I have abandoned doing the crochets up the side because no matter how hard I tried to do the thing where you slip stitch across and keep the rows straight, the rows look straight, but then when we look at the side, it still curls. So it's gone spiral no matter how hard I've tried. So I abandoned the strengthening things, and I just figure what I will do is I'll put this box in it, I will starch it, let it dry, and then I will see how it goes. I haven't darned in any ends. I do have an inner lip, and I'm not planning on bringing it in any further because I thought about it, and then the more I thought, actually no, I don't feel like it because I don't want it to pull all out of shape. I mean, it's going to probably anyway when I put the handles on, because my handles, oh, I've tied a knot rather than a bow. This is what my handle set came with from Daiso. It's got this tape, which I might use on the inside. It's tempting because it exists. And these cotton handles. So I will stitch, dumps that one there, these handles probably around about here. And once it's all starched, and I can work out where I want to stitch them, so somewhere about there I reckon, I can pin them on and sew them, and that should look good, because I'm just thinking the starch is going to give it a bit more structure. The other thing I want to do is get some silicone spray, and then see if that helps as well. So for the moment, I went and bought this. I haven't done any ironing in years. And I think the last time I did ironing was for a show, to be completely honest. This is just spray starch. It's going to give a crisp look to my clothes. It's got a carnation on it. I am going to spray this off of camera, but I'm trying to be a good YouTuber. Show the process. I will now do this, and it actually smells nice. So that's all good. And we'll see whether or not this actually does do anything to strengthen it. But I will do the spraying and then come back to you. I might come back to you when I've got the handles either pinned on or good to go, or I've got the silicone spray. We'll see, because I might get silicone spray tomorrow. This is only meant to be like a quick project, and it's taken me several weeks. Mostly because this bit was pretty boring. All right, I'll catch you soon. Well, here we are on this windy afternoon with this new shirt that I tell you has become my entire personality of late. It's like wearing a fluffy blanket. And the dog is still dogging. And here's my finished handbag. If I show you this side, we've got what it is that we've actually got. And I'm really pleased with the fact that I've managed to use up all the yarn that I purchased. Here's my handles. The inside is dead boring. There is this line here, which I was initially going to either put on a zip or going to put on a pull tie or something along those lines, and then decided against it, and it's just there as a bit of strengthening. for the top. I could still put a zip on it at some point, but I kind of like the square shape. I tried to emphasize the square shape by going up the side corners, but it just didn't work out. If you want to make one for yourself, this is just a row of, I think it was either 30 or 40 chains, and then increases on the ends. And then I just marked them so that there's an increase on the corner points until we got out to about 13 stitches on each side, I think, give or take. Anyway, so that's the bag. Then, hanging from the bag, I have got this little bag for earpods, which, again, I don't know which order any of these are coming out in, which I put those tassel what's-its on. I've got my fake labubu, my lafufu, and I'm quite happy with how the little tiny, blueberry charm came out. Only the blueberry charm gets lost in amongst all the other nonsense I've got going on my bag. So shortly I'm about to go to a showing of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I am well aware of the fact that it came out in the 80s and it's now 2025. But this is New Zealand, this is a midwinter Christmas, and it's July. So, of course I'm going to go along to see Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I think I'll take my handbag and put my things in it. So we'll go with that. Am I happy with my outcome? Am I happy with my challenge? Yeah, I am. This is now one of the few handbags I own, because I'm not a handbag girly, but I'm quite happy with this, and I think it's quite hilarious. Yeah, so I will catch you next week, and if you do want the instructions of how to make one for yourself, I'll put them down below, but don't consider it to be a pattern of any stretch of the imagination, because the likelihood of you finding the exact yarns, or me knowing how long anything was, considering all the instructions were in Japanese, yeah, there will be a separate pattern for my labubu. I will link that down below, and at some point there'll be a separate pattern for this little wee baggie, and a bit more of a story going on with that as well. But in the meantime, if those patterns are out, I'll link them. If not, I will catch you next week, and hopefully by then the weather will have improved. It won't have, but it would be nice. So I will now kill time for about 10 seconds and pretend that I'm a proper YouTuber, that here we've got a handbag. But over here is another video that you might like to watch, and over here is probably a playlist of videos, and we might try and put in the corner over here my subscribe button. Any of those sorts of things. All right, I will catch you next week. Bye.